terms do you demand?" at length asked Mr. Boone, cheerfully rubbing his hands. "I must have military protection for my mine and reducing works," replied Dr. Syx. "Then I shall ask the return of 1% on the circulating medium, together with the privilege of disposing of a certain amount of the metal, to be limited by agreement, to the public for use in the arts. Of the proceeds of the sale I will pay 10% to the government in consideration of its protection." "But," exclaimed President Boone, "that will make you the richest man who ever lived." "Undoubtedly," was the reply. "Why," added Mr. Boone, opening his eyes wider as the facts continued to dawn upon him, "you will become the financial dictator of the whole world." "Undoubtedly," again responded Dr. Syx, unmoved. "That is what I propose to become. My discovery entitles me to no less. But, remember, I place myself under government inspection and restriction. I should not be allowed to flood the market, even if I were disposed to do so, but my own interest would restrain me. It is to my advantage that artemisium, once adopted, shall remain stable in value." A shadow of doubt suddenly crossed the president's face. "Suppose your secret is discovered," he said. "Surely your mine will not remain the only one. If you in so short a time have been able to accumulate an immense quantity of the new metal, it must be extremely abundant. Others will discover it, and then where shall we be?" While Mr. Boone uttered these words, those who were watching Dr. Syx, as the president was not, resembled persons whose startled eyes are fixed upon a wild beast preparing to spring. As Mr. Boone ceased speaking, he turned towards the visitor, and instantly his lips fell apart and his face paled. Dr. Syx had drawn himself up to his full stature, and his features were distorted with that peculiar mocking smile which had now returned with a concentrated expression of mingled self-confidence and disdain. "Will you have relief or not?" he asked in a dry, hard voice. "What can you do? I alone possess the secret which can restore industry and commerce. If you reject my offer, do you think a second one will come?" President Boone found voice to reply, stammeringly: "I did not mean to suggest a rejection of the offer. I only wished to inquire if you thought it probable that there would be no repetition of what occurred after gold was found at the South Pole." "The earth may be full of my metal," returned Dr. Syx, almost fiercely, "but so long as I alone possess the knowledge how to extract it, is it of any more worth than common dirt? But come," he added, after a pause and softening his manner, "I have other schemes. Will you, as representatives of the leading nations, undertake the introduction of artemisium as a substitute for gold, or will you not?" "Can we not have time for deliberation?" asked President Boone. "Yes, 1 hour. Within that time I shall return to learn your decision," replied Dr. Syx, rising and preparing to depart. "I leave these things," pointing to the tray, "in your keeping," and significantly, "I trust your decision will be a wise one." His curious smile again curved his lips and shot the ends of his mustache upward, and the influence of that smile remained in the room when he had closed the door behind him. The financiers gazed at one another for several minutes in silence. Then they turned towards the coruscating metal that filled the tray. End of chapter 2. This recording is in the public domain.